Let's create a portfolio website in WordPress. In this tutorial, we are going to create a single page portfolio website in WordPress, and we are only going to use free technologies. We are going to use the free version of Astra theme, Elementor Page Builder, of course, a free version of it, Contact from 7, and Site Origin CSS for styling some of these options like the form and the fields here, and also an add-on for Elementor. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna quickly download the free version of Astra theme. Okay, now I have my Astra theme ready, and we want to change something here. And the point of this tutorial is not really to understand the settings of Astra theme. You can choose any theme that you want. So we are going to go very quickly over the setting, and the important fact is that you choose a good theme for your project, whether it's a premium theme or a free theme. Make sure that it's a well-updated theme, it has a good community, and it's fast, and it has the options that you want, because some of these specific themes really lack lots of options. So usually stay away from that and try to just download a general purpose theme. So I just bring my customizer, and I want to just remove this sidebar here. So global, or sorry, I think sidebar and no sidebar. And also we want to make this container bigger. So again, global container, and I'm just going to increase the width here to something like 1800. I think just seems okay. And also full width contained. Now we have our layout here, and we want to create a home page and also remove this block because we do not need it for this portfolio. I'm also disabling the title for this page. So this theme supports disabling title. If your theme doesn't support it and it's actually outputting the title, you can just remove it with CSS by setting the display into none, which is really easy. But again, make sure that you choose a good theme that has the options that you need. It can make the process much easier. If you choose the right tools in the beginning, then the process of making any kind of website would be much easier and less effortless. And I'm just going to bring setting and reading. And for the home page here, we are going to select a static page, and also the name would be home. And we do not want a page for blog posts. We do not want to have a blog here, and that's fine. We have our page. Now let's install the plugins and the tools that we are going to need. I'm just going to go very quickly over them. If I bring the final version of our work, you can see that if I bring plugins and install plugins, we are using Contact from 7, Elementor, Site Origin CSS for styling Contact from 7, and also Timeline widget for Elementor, only for this timeline that we have. So we are using these plugins here. I'm just going to quickly install all of them. Okay, now we have our plugins ready to go, and I can just start editing and building the front page. So I open it with Elementor, and I just, like always, put this navigator on the right so we can just use it. And now we can start building our website. And I have just created the text and color for this website. So if I just open it, you can see that we are using two colors here, and I also have the text. So it can really help you if you just have the colors and think about colors and the style and just have something ready. So when you are building, you have everything ready. So in this case, I also have the pictures and also the avatar ready here and the colors, and we can just start building the website. So the first thing we're going to add here is an image of the person, actually this fictional person here, Linda Allen, and I have just got this image from Pixabay, which is a free image website. It's really cool, and we are going to create this section here first. So let's create our first section here, and we are going to use this 50-50 section here, and I'm going to put the image here. So we have our image here, and also we have the text on the right. So I would just put text here also, and we are going to have a heading below the image for the name and also another text area under it. So I just put my heading here and also my text area. Elementor makes it really easy to just work with these layouts and sections, and it's really easy. Now I can just open my image and upload it. So I have it here. You can just use alt text and description. It's good that you use description here. And we have the image. Now we want to add the text. And okay, we are going to copy everything. So the her name would be here. And we will just make the style after we put the text. And also her information is under it. And finally, we have this paragraph about her. So it just works fine, I think. Okay, we're fine. We just put everything that we want here. So the first thing that we are going to do is to just make this image a circle. So we want to mask it, and we can just easily do it with border radius, because just creating a circle is really easy with border radius. So I will select border radius here and set the unit into %, and we are going to use 100% for every side, which will give you a nice circle. And then, of course, we want to make this text a little bigger and give it some padding. So I will just bring style, and the color should be, of course, white. But first we have to give it a background so that we can see the color. And I can just name my section here hero, and select the whole section and style and background, and we are going to use our blue background here. So I just have the code dark blue. I can just copy it and use it for the background, and now it's fine. I can just set my text, set the color into white, and also increase the size. We are using EM here, which is really good for responsive web design. And I forgot to talk about responsive design here. It's really important that whatever website you are creating, you make sure that it's responsive. And Elementor does a really good job on creating responsive web designs, but you have to just make sure that everything is just working fine. So we will use this responsive mode to see it in different browsers for mobile devices and different viewport width. So first, let's just create this text and give it some padding here. And we are going to use % here for the padding, and something like this just works fine. And this image is really big. I think we can just make it smaller if we want, or something like this. We are changing the ratio here manually, it just works fine. So 60-40 I think is better than 50-50, and I can just again watch it in different browsers. So we have a tablet mode and it's just working fine, and on mobile devices again it's just super fine. So everything good now, and I can now use the second color here, the yellow. And now it's fine, and I can just make the text white and also increase its size. And again, we are using CM here. Fine, now we have this screen. And the second part here is our gallery. It's really simple to just create it. So we are using a full width section here, and also we are going to put a gallery element here. Basic gallery. If you're using Elementor Pro, you have also the option to use gallery, and we are going to upload the images. And we are making it something really large. Okay, I think the default spacing is not good here, or maybe we give them some padding, but custom spacing just works better. So we have some space around the elements here. Fine. And also we are going to put a heading here. So we have a heading here, and I'm just gonna type in my works. And I'm just going to center it from this, okay, from content, sorry. And also make it a little larger. And we have our gallery here. And then we are going to create quickly the timeline here. So I'm just gonna add a new section, a full width section, and add the timeline. And by installing the widget, you get this story timeline. So I just have installed the widget, and now it's making its default timeline. I'm just gonna quickly update it. So now we have the timeline. You can just play with it. You can use any widget, really. The point is not to talk about widgets through Elementor, but rather we are covering the workflow and the way you can easily create a beautiful website, and as an example, a portfolio, which is really popular. So we have the timeline here, and I can just select this section, and you can just name your section. So we have gallery here. It's really nicer and cleaner. So we have our hero, our gallery, and finally our timeline. And I can just select the whole section, bring a style and background here, and we can use an image. I think, yes, we have an image here. So I can just bring the background and use classic and then image, and use just this gallery image. We can of course position it the way we want, so we can have center and cover. It just works fine with any size of image and any ratio. And we are going to give it a color here and something like this, and we can control the opacity here. Fine. So we have our color, and now we can just style the timeline itself. So we have setting here, layout setting, and also style, and we can just use the colors that we want. Okay, now we have the colors, and also I can just remove this sub-labels. I forgot to remove them. And finally, we are going to use our contact form. So if I just bring my, let's just save it. And if I just bring my website, well, you can see that we have created it and it's just working fine. We have these images, and if I just bring the responsive mode by just pressing Command Alt M on Mac or Control Alt M on Windows, then you can see that it's just working fine. So really there is nothing to fine tune here. Sometimes you have to change things, but in this case it's just working fine. I think we can make this text smaller and also change this padding. So this padding is allowed for mobile devices. So there are always small tweaks that you can do to make it look better on mobile devices, but by default Elementor just creates responsive elements. And now we can bring our contact form. So we have it here, contact, and it has a default contact form. I'm just gonna change the title to contact, or just contact me. It's fine. And we have it here, and this is the shortcode, so I can just save it and copy the shortcode. And now I can bring my website and edit it with Elementor and paste my shortcode here. So I create a section here and just add shortcode. So I just add a shortcode block and paste a shortcode here. So now we have our contact form. I can just put this title here. So because it's not showing the title by default, which is really good. So we can just use our own. And I can just type here, contact me, and center it, and also make it black. Fine. So we have our contact form now. And what we are going to do here is to just style the contact form so it looks nicer, and also make our menu so that we have our single page portfolio. So let's just do that. So for styling this, we can write our own CSS, but we are going to use a really nice plugin called Site Origin CSS, which we installed. And now if I just click on this custom CSS and this icon here, you can see that it brings me this editor, and now I can just start editing this contact form. So if I just look at the final result, you can see that of course we have our background here. So we are going to change the background. I can just copy this dark blue color here and select it. So if you haven't worked with this plugin before, it's really easy. You have the address here and you can select every element that you want. So for every element that you select, you have the name of the selection here, which you can just ignore, but you can just modify the CSS properties here. So we are going to select this big box here, which is the background, and I'm just going to bring decoration and decoration and background color, and I can just paste the value here. So we have it, and now I can just change this text here. So I can just select one of them, and if I just hover over it, you can see that it's selecting all of them because when you select an element, sometimes just select a group of elements, which can be really useful because of course you want to modify all of them. So I just select one and then bring text and text color and set it to white, and also font size. I'm gonna use EM and increase the font size here something like 1.5. And also I can just select one of these boxes. It's again selecting all of the first three boxes, not the last one, because the last one is different. The first three here are text inputs, but the last one is text area. So we first select the text input, which is going to select all of them, and then I'm going to select decoration and border radius and set it to EM. Something like 1 EM is fine. And also for the last one, we are going to use 1 EM. Fine. And now we have it. We can just change the text of this contact me. I have created it with Elementor. You can just do it right from Elementor, but you can also do it from here because it's anyway CSS and it's just overriding any style. So I can just bring text and text color and set it to white. Okay, I think it's not doing it from here. It's not working, so I think we have to change it from Elementor. By default, this just works, but I think something is overriding it, or maybe it's selecting the wrong element. Sometimes it happens. Maybe Elementor is just overriding it here. And now I can just, of course, change the submit button color to anything that I want. So we can just bring decoration and background color and use any color that we wish. Something like our yellow would be good. So we have a coherent style. It just looks much more professional. And also for the text color, we can just set it to black. Fine. I can just save, and you can see this is the style. The only one that is not working is Elementor. Maybe I should give it an important tag. I really don't know if it does help. So let's just save the CSS and visit the website. So it's not working yet. So let's just do it from Elementor. It should work, honestly. So if I just bring the style and white work, it just works fine, but you should be able to just use that plugin. And now this is our contact form. The last step that we are going to do before wrapping up and finishing this tutorial, just create a menu. So I will quickly bring our menu, and it's in the appearance and menu. And I'm just going to create a new menu here. We do not have any, so I call it menu. And primary menu and creative, you have to make sure that you can see it in the manage location. So it's set as the primary menu. And now we are going to create a link. So we want to create 3 links here, but each one of them is going to point to a section of our website. So if I bring the final result, you can see that when I click on the first one, it brings me here, and also if I click on contact me, it brings me here. What we are using here is basically links with a pound sign or hashtag sign. So we have to create 3 links here, but each one of them have to point to a CSS ID or HTML ID rather, HTML ID of an element. So we want to create the IDs. So if I just bring Elementor for the first page, you can see that I have headings for these sections, and we can use them, of course. So we can give the ID to every heading. I can just create a heading for this as well. It's good, and also it's good for your SEO. So I can just call it timeline and style it to black, or maybe the blue would be better, but black is just fine. And also center it. Now I can give this element an ID. So I will start with my first element here, my works, and bring advanced and custom CSS. Sorry, we do not have to use custom CSS. We have, where is it? Okay, CSS ID. So we have CSS ID. I can just give it an ID of timeline, time-line. So we have time-line for here. Oh, sorry, yeah, we should use my works for this one, and timeline. So again, advanced and CSS ID and timeline for the second element, and finally contact me. So bring advanced and CSS ID and contact me. Contact me, and I can just save. And now we can use them in our menus. So I can just create a link. So we have pages, posts, but we want to use custom links, and I can just call the first one my works, and the URL is going to be just my-works and with a pound sign or hashtag, so we have it. And for the second one, we are going to use also the same format. So the name is going to be the second one. The first one is my work, and the second one is timeline. So we have timeline and also pound timeline for the URL. And finally, the last one is just contact me, and also contact me, contact me, and the pound sign. And I can just add it to my menu and save the menu. And now if I bring my website, you can see that we have my works. Okay. Timeline is working and contact me is working, so there is something wrong with my works. Okay, we do not have one dash, so it was just called my works without dash. So now we have my works and timeline and contact me, super cool. You can also change the font if you want. You can just play with it. I have a tutorial about changing the font size, font style, and adding new fonts like Google font and any kind of font that you want for your WordPress. And that's it, everyone. You can just create amazing stuff with WordPress. Really cool, really good. And we also forgot to give this a rounded corners, but it's just fine, you know how to do it. And that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel for more WordPress content. And like always, you can reach our team from the link in the caption.